Hello and welcome back to Food Happy. I hope you enjoyed episode 1 and the chocolate chip cookie recipe. I hope that you've gotten a chance to try it and it's been a success for you. If you have tried it and you don't think it went right or it did go right, leave a comment. Tell me about it. I want to hear about it. But today we are going to be making a Super Bowl snack. I love the Super Bowl. I'm a Chiefs fan, and unfortunately, they are not in the Super Bowl this year. They didn't even make the playoffs. It was a sad, trashy season for Chiefs Kingdom, but that's okay. I still love the Super Bowl. I like getting together with friends. During this episode, I'm going to teach you how to make a snack that you can take to your Super Bowl party. I'm also, while it's cooking, going to teach you a fun game that you could play at your Super Bowl party that people of all ages enjoy. So, let's talk about what we're doing today. Today, we are going to be making jalapeno poppers. So, what you need to make jalapeno poppers, the way that I make them anyways, is you need jalapenos, you need a pound of sausage, you need bacon of your choice, disposable gloves are optional, you need a sheet pan, and I suggest covering it with aluminum foil, and you need an 8-ounce block of cream cheese that I'm gonna get out of the fridge here in a second when we're ready for it. But, and you need a bowl like this. Well, not like just like this, but just a bowl to put your scraps in from the jalapenos. So, we have our food. Now let's make our food happy. All right, we are ready to get started. I have 10 jalapenos. I like to get the bigger, plumpier ones because it holds more goodness in them. And I think they're easier to deseed. But gloves are optional because obviously when you're working with jalapenos, they're spicy. So if you were managing these without gloves and then you accidentally touched your face, that's gonna burn. So this kind of saves you from that. Again, gloves optional, but we're gonna do these one at a time. So we're just gonna put those to the side. I've washed and dried these. And I am going to teach you how to deseed and get the jalapenos ready for the poppers. The recipe that I follow, makes anywhere between 20 and 25 poppers. So you're cutting each jalapeno in half. So I have 10, this is going to make 20 poppers. That's how many I'm making. So you're going to cut the tops off of each of these. We're going to discard the tops in our bowl like this. All right, now we're going to split them in half so we can start to clean them out. This is by far the most tedious process of the entire recipe. So, again, I can really smell the flavor in these. These are flavorful jalapenos. All right, set that to the side. We're gonna get our bowl and we are going to take our spoon and just devein it like so. Oops, but like this. You want to get all the seeds out and you want it to look like this. I'll just set that to the side and we are going to repeat this task for 19 more times. This is my least favorite part of this entire process, but 'tis worth it because these are wonderful. Now, there are about 16 different versions. I feel like 16 is a little dramatic, but I'm a dramatic person. There are several different versions out there of how to make jalapeno poppers. This version I learned in college from my college roommates when I was at OU. They would make these almost every Sunday during football season, and they were so good. Anyways, they made these every Sunday during football season. They were so good. They were a staple in our house in college. Ashley, Lauren, and Tanisha, thank you for teaching me the recipe that keeps on giving. But if you have a different recipe that you like to use, please share that in the comments. As I said in episode 1, and I will keep saying in this entire series for however long I do it, sharing is caring when it comes to cooking. That's the fun. That's how cultures come together. That's how people come together. That's how fellowship happens. It's sharing recipes and being like, oh, I make that too. I do this. You should try this. Blah, 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 blah. I love learning. Obviously, I'm sharing what I know with the world, but I would love for the world to give back and share with me what they know or how maybe they make this and make it better. All right, we are approaching the end of this. I will rinse these. Again, these are very seedy and I can smell how flavorful they are. So I'm going to, once I finish de-seeding these, I'm going to pause real fast from filming, and I'm going to rinse these off with water and dry them, just again, because I want to try my best effort to get all the seeds out so these are enjoyable and not a burn your throat situation when we're enjoying them. All right, we have 2 more. The bowl is handy for the jalapeno insides because then it's easier to discard into the trash where you want it to go. All right, that is the last one. I am going to pause real fast and wash those off. All right, I am back and our jalapenos are nice, seed-free, and clean. So we are going to line them up all nice and pretty in a row for later on our sheet pan. I have suggested lining this with aluminum foil because I personally hate mess. And these can cook pretty messy when we get the bacon added and the sausage and everything. So I try to help myself later and make sure that I don't have a big mess to clean up. All right, jalapenos are being set to the side for later. Next, we are prepping the bacon. I took 10 pieces of bacon. Again, there's 20 poppers, so 10 pieces of bacon, and I cut them in half just like this. And this is all ready to go for later as well. All right, now it's time to start our mixture for the jalapeno poppers. This is where you're taking your pound of sausage and we're gonna brown it. Now, sausage cooks really quickly. So I add a little bit of water into the pan to help it not burn. I don't want burnt sausage. This is also where you're going to need your 8 ounces of cream cheese. So just put that to the side, ready to go. But we're gonna start breaking this apart. So again, this is gonna cook really quickly. We're just gonna let that do that while this is cooking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. All right, starting to brown up. breaking that apart, but I'm also going to remove the lid because I want all that liquid to steam up into it. So I want this to not be a very liquidy sausage situation. I have the burner on high because I want all this liquid to cook off. Worst case scenario, I can drain it, but typically it cooks off as the sausage gets good and brown. While that continues to cook, we're going to open our cream cheese, and we're just going to start to kind of break it apart so it's easier to break apart in the pan. Sorry, that steam was kind of burning my hand. Okay, so you want it broken up like that, so when it's ready to put in here, all right, you can hear it sizzling. That means the liquid is almost burnt off of it. So at this point, we're going to dump our cream cheese into it. And we are going to turn the burner down to a low so it doesn't burn, because we just want the cream cheese to melt into the sausage. And you're just going to stir it like this. See how it's breaking apart and melting together? So this cream cheese and sausage is really good just by itself. If you have little kids or kids that don't like jalapenos or spicy food isn't something they really like, you could spoon out some of this sausage and cream cheese, add a little bit of bacon if you cook bacon if you want to, put it in a tortilla, make it a little dip for them with chips, anything like that. So they feel included, just minus the jalapenos. All right, our mixture is ready to go. All right, now it's the fun part. We are going to assemble our poppers. So we have the mixture right here. We have our bacon, and we are just gonna fill these with the mixture like so. Be careful because the mixture is still warm. I personally like to fill the poppers with the mixture first. I'm a one at a time kind of person, and then go back and wrap it with bacon. Now comes the fun part. Okay, so I'm using a thicker bacon, so it may be a little harder to wrap. So you may want, if you have a thicker bacon, you may want a toothpick, but I'm gonna wrap that really tight around there, like a baby in a blanket almost. We're swaddling our poppers. That's what we're doing. All right, they look so good. They're ready to go into the oven at 350 degrees. Again, we're just gonna place them on the middle rack like that, and we're gonna let these cook for 45 minutes because, again, it was thicker bacon. So I want the bacon to get good and crispy. All right, y'all, while these are cooking, I'm gonna teach you how to play a super fun Super Bowl game. All ages are welcome to play as long as they can hold a hat and put money into it. So you're going to want lots of dollar bills. When I would play this with my friends or my family, would have like 50 $1 bills. That's a little too many, but it's also enough. You know, it's never a bad thing to have extra, especially when it comes to money. Anyways, so the game starts, the Super Bowl game starts when the Super Bowl starts. First person holding the hat, it does not matter who's holding the hat first, unless you're just an uber competitive family, and then you can figure out who holds the hat first your own way. But anyways, holding the hat, if you are holding the hat, you put $1 in, okay? So first play of the game is a kickoff. You put your $1 in, they kick off, you pass your hat to the right, to the next person. You are passing the hat after each play. So if you're holding the hat for kickoff and they kick it off and the other team runs it back for a kickoff return and scores a touchdown, you actually get to keep your $1 and just pass it. But anyways, let's assume that doesn't happen because the likelihood of that happening is not a lot. But anyways, first play happens, kickoff, you put your $1 in, you pass it to the right. Next play happens, they're holding the hat, they put $1 in, they pass it to the right when the play is over. The way you win the game is if you're holding the hat when a team scores a touchdown or a field goal. Any points on the board equal you winning what's in the hat. And then the game starts over. So it goes the entire game. Obviously you don't have to play the entire game, especially if you run out of money, but you can. So you're gonna go to the right each time unless there is a turnover. If there is a turnover, then you switch the direction and you'll go to the left. You'll pass it to the left. You put $1 in every time you're holding the hat. So if you're holding the hat, you put $1 in. If there is a penalty, and the penalty is a loss of downs, that's your turn, unfortunately, and you have to pass the hat, whichever way it's going. If there's a penalty and they're replaying the play, you get to keep the hat. You do not have to put an additional $1 in, it's just a do-over for your play. I'm gonna put all the directions in the caption below, but I hope you play. I have a lot of fun playing this game with my friends and family. I think a few years ago, I had a friend who won $35 in one round. So there is potential to win a lot of money. Again, we play with dollar bills. If you wanna play with higher bills, go for it. If you wanna play with pennies, have fun. It's just about having fun with friends. So anyways, like I said earlier, I love the Super Bowl. I think good things happen, I think good things happen on Super Bowl Sunday, so I hope everyone has a wonderful Super Bowl. All right, 45, wow. Okay, so they're very hot. We saw all the steam come out. My camera is still steamed. All right, we fixed that. Very good, very crispy. These are looking wonderful. We're gonna take them out of the oven. Set them there. Oh my goodness, you guys. I wish you could smell. Okay, as predicted, some of the bacon didn't stick, but that's okay. Do you know why it's okay? Because who doesn't love bacon, jalapeno, cream cheese, and sausage, even if the bacon's not, you know, completely wrapped around? All right, now you could serve these directly off this pan, okay? Maybe it's not a formal party, or maybe you're not big on formalities. That's fine. No one's going to complain about this. I'm a little more structured than that. So I take them and I transfer them to this cutie little pan. And we're just gonna do that over and, oh, that one fell apart. So we're gonna be a little more careful, but we're just gonna do that. I will see y'all in a little bit. All right, that brings us to the end of our Food Happy episode today. Our snack is plated. You've learned a fun game as well. I hope that you decide to make jalapeno poppers for your Super Bowl party. I hope you play the hat game. If you do either of those things and you put it on social media, please tag me. I would love to see the fun that you're having and see how your snack turned out as well. And if you're not on social, but leave a comment. I want to hear how it goes for you. So again, my Instagram handle is in my bio. Food Happy doesn't have an Instagram yet, but leave a comment. If you like this episode, share it with a friend, hit the like button. The more the merrier at Food Happy. See y'all next time. Bye.